So my wife and I do our grocery shopping around every 10 days, and we spend around $150 per trip. So in this video, I want to show you the simple process we use to keep our grocery trips under $150 for a household of 2 people. All right, let's go. Just kidding, guys. We do all of our grocery shopping here in the comfort of our own home, and we use grocery delivery apps. And before I go into the grocery delivery app we use, I want to talk about why we set $150 for our grocery trip budget. So currently, my wife and I use the Monarch app for budgeting, and with groceries, we have $500 set aside for each month. And of course, this is a household of 2 people. Now, first and foremost, there are 4 reasons why it is set to $500 a month. Depending on where you live, that might seem like a lot, or it might seem like very little. But the number one reason for why it's $500 a month, which is higher than what we're used to, is because I eat a lot. I do a lot of physical activities. I'm trying to build muscle. So of course, I'm trying to eat more. And of course, that comes with a lot more protein, which can be pretty expensive. Number 2, my wife and I prioritize convenience. Yes, we do cook a lot, and the majority of our meals are made at home, but we're not the kind of people to make our own homemade bread or our own tortillas. We still like to buy ingredients that are quick to whip up together because there are other things we prioritize. Like, I would rather invest extra time in the evening towards building my business, or towards socializing with friends, or towards just spending time with Ashley, my wife. And the third reason why $500 is our grocery budget is because we do our grocery shopping around every 10 days, like I said. So that comes out to around 3 times a month. And if it's $150 per trip, and that's times 3, that is $450. We add on the additional $50 just because we know life happens. Sometimes we invite friends over for dinner. Sometimes we want to try out a new recipe that doesn't include the ingredients we bought on our grocery trip. And so we're always accounting for those random variables. We do the same thing in our Monarch budget as well. We literally have this thing called an oops fund where we set aside $50 a month to go towards anything just random. This accounts for a random parking ticket. It can also account for a random streaming service we forgot to cancel. Who knows? But the same $50 in our grocery budget gives us a little bit of margin in case something does happen, so we're not stressed out if we have to spend a little over $450. And the fourth reason why it is $500 a month is because in our city, our town, it's close to Nashville, it's getting more expensive. All right, now that you know it is $500 total per month, let's talk about this single grocery trip and how we're gonna spend less than $150 for 2 people for 10 days. So if you do some quick math, that is 60 meals over the course of 10 days. And we have been using a 3-part process for our grocery trips. Part 1 is deciding what meals are we going to make over these next 10 days. Thankfully, over the last couple of years, my wife and I have dialed in a few meals that we always have up here, but if you're starting off, it helps to write these things down. For breakfast, we're gonna go with 3 simple meal options that we can mix and match depending on how we feel. Meal number 1 is overnight oats with fresh fruits. Meal number 2 is a classic that I've been eating since college, but it is a bagel with egg and bacon. Turkey bacon, to be exact. And meal number 3 is a little treat for ourselves during the weekend. I like to call this our Grand Slam breakfasts. It's very similar to what you would get at IHOP or Denny's. You have some pancakes, maybe some hash browns, some eggs, and some kind of meat. And now let's move on to our lunch meals. I'll be honest, lunch and dinner are interchangeable for me. And when I was growing up, breakfast, lunch, and dinner were interchangeable because all of them had rice. Shout out to my Filipinos out there. So in the case of our grocery trip, we're not gonna go over lunch too much, but we will give ourselves a simple lunch we can whip up in case we don't have any time or there's no dinner leftovers. Sandwiches. And yeah, let's go on to dinner meals. For dinners, there are 4 meals that we have in mind that we're gonna spread out throughout the next 10 days. And of course, that is because we're making these meals in bulk. For dinner meal number 1, I actually got it from our free Facebook group, the Frugal Rich community. Last night, I just posted up, hey, I wanna make some soup. What are your best soup recipes? And you guys went crazy and commented so many different options for me, but one stuck out in particular, lasagna soup. Never tried it before, but that seems like something we can whip up in the crock pot and have for the next 3 or 4 days. Dinner meal number 2 is something that Ashley and I have been obsessing over the last few weeks, and it is this Marry Me chicken orzo. I don't know why it's called Marry Me, but I am guessing once you eat that, it's gonna make you wanna marry whoever made that dish for you. Single people watching, y'all better take notes. Dinner meal number 3 are tacos. Easy enough, something you can whip up if you're feeling a little lazy. And dinner meal number 4 is kava bowls at home. If you don't know what kava is, it's pretty much Chipotle with Mediterranean food. So super healthy, super light, actually not very light, it's super filling, but it is something that you can bring to lunch for work or just eat at home for fun. And finally, as we start our grocery shopping process, we better find a sweet treat. I think it's important to just get that guilty pleasure out of the way, put it into your grocery list so that you're not tempted to go out and buy that sweet treat at an overpriced restaurant or store. The sweet treats we're gonna go for this time are fudge bars and apple juice.
Blue Ribbon Classics Fudge Bar 20 pack.
We got fudge bars the last grocery trip and I got addicted. And of course, apple juice, man, if you just want something different from water, why not something nice and sweet? Not the healthiest, of course, but everything, in moderation. So now that we've wrapped up part 1, which are the meals we're gonna make the next 10 days, let's go into part 2 of grocery shopping, which is seeing what we already have at home. A lot of people grocery shop in a very inefficient way by just showing up to the store and guessing what they need to bring home. And that can lead to a lot of food waste, repeat orders, and of course, buying bulk when you don't really need to. So thankfully, because I am at home, I have the luxury of looking through my pantry while I am doing my grocery shopping. And at the same time, I can crack open my fridge, see what I actually need here, and I don't have to be wondering if the milk is good or not. Because your boy's looking at the expiration date while also doing grocery shopping on his phone. So the specific grocery delivery app we use is actually Walmart Plus. It costs $98 annually, but thanks to Monarch, once again, we're able to set aside, I think it's around $8 a month, so that we're always building up to paying that annual fee when the time comes. And I gotta tell you guys, for us, I can't speak for y'all, but it has been so helpful to have a grocery delivery app where we can save so much time, do our grocery shopping from home, where we can look at what we already have. And as an added benefit, we can get Sam's Club gas because we're Walmart Plus members. So I think that annual fee is totally worth it. All right, but let's just jump right into part 3 of the grocery shopping process. What do we actually need? As I'm doing the shopping for the meals that we outlined in part 1, we're gonna do part 2 and 3 together. So I'm gonna see what we actually have and then decide what we actually need for each recipe. All right, we have 2 angles here, one showing my pantry side and the other showing the fridge side. So our first meal is overnight oats and fresh fruits. After looking in the fridge, I realized that we're looking a little low on milk and also coffee creamer, hazelnut flavored. It just makes it taste better. Come on now. We also don't have any fresh fruits here. We just have these old strawberries that I actually need to throw out. So we're gonna get that as well too. So literally right here, I'm gonna add on exactly what we need. But if we look across in the pantry, we do have oats. We don't have that much in there, so let's add some more oats as well. Dang, 418. Strawberries. Let's add blueberries because we feel like it. We can remove this if we go over 150, but for now, good golly, it's expensive, but let's go for it. Milk. And then also hazelnut. The next meal I mentioned was the bagel sandwich with eggs and bacon. All right, looking at the pantry right now, we actually have no bread at all. So bagels and normal sliced bread, so I'm gonna just add those right away. As you can see, I'm just getting the generic brands. I don't really care for the name brands. And if you're a health expert and can tell me why some brands are better or healthier, let us know in the comments still. I'm gonna add sandwich bread, which also applies to our lunch meal as well. Is wheat actually better than white bread? Let me know. And because these bagel sandwiches have eggs and bacon, let's see what we have in the fridge, right? We still have most of this 60 pack of eggs ready to go. So that is all taken care of. But we only have 1 slice of turkey bacon left. So I'm gonna add that to the list. Yes, I do know it's processed. There are nitrites in there. I think it's a little better than the Spam I used to grow up on. And of course, we're gonna get the lower sodium anyways, $3.92. And finally, the last breakfast meal is the Grand Slam breakfast. So pancakes, what do we got? We got pancakes up in here. I'm pleased to report that we do have pancake mix, so we don't need to buy that again. But for this Grand Slam breakfast, let's get a nice sausage that we can add to the meal. Most recently, Ashley and I have been trying these chicken and apple sausages. It's not the cheapest cut of meat or even breakfast food, but tastes good, and we'll of course see if it fits into our budget at the end. All right, now let's hone in on the lunch meals. Of course, we're going with sandwiches, and every sandwich does better with a side. We got the sandwich bread already, but let's take a look at what we can put in the sandwich now, like lunch meats or jam or whatever. Okay, we have some Black Forest ham. It is still good by a couple months, but we are lacking on our provolone cheese, so I'm gonna add that to our list. Boom. And one side that we really like in particular with our sandwiches are pickles. Mini pickles have been really bomb for us, so we're gonna go with that this time. And I know we've not been the healthiest bunch here, but let's add on a Lay's barbecue flavored potato chips. And I was looking through the fridge and I noticed our spring mix has already gone bad. I don't know about you guys, but that bottom layer always seems to rot before we can finish it. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace this. I know I didn't plan it into the meals originally, but this is a perfect side for any of the lunches or dinners we're preparing. And thankfully, with Walmart Plus and the Walmart app, they tell us exactly what we typically buy with each grocery trip. Okay, now let's hone in on our dinner meals. Lasagna soup is first, and of course I need the ingredients, so I'm gonna check the TikTok where I originally found this recipe. I'm looking at the ingredients for this recipe. I'm gonna buy more than what they're asking for because we wanna make this in bulk once again. I see that one thing we're lacking is heavy cream. We have marinara sauce, we don't have Parmesan, and we need other things like ricotta, and some other seasonings. So I'm gonna go through, look through our fridge and pantry, and then get the proper ingredients for this meal. Thankfully, we do have lasagna in the pantry already. I just gotta add on the extra things. Let's look for some ground beef. Nope. All right, no ground beef. I'm gonna go ahead and buy this 3-pack of grass-fed ground beef. It's definitely on the pricier side right now, but we're doing pretty good on our budget currently. And that of course can be used for some of our other dinner meals as well. I think we need some onions. Actually, nope. We do have a ton of onions here, so I don't need to worry about that. Oh, and we actually don't have marinara sauce, so I'm gonna add that as well too. So heavy cream. Let me just get 2 boxes of that because I know we're gonna need it for the orzo. We need some broth, beef broth and chicken broth because we also have the orzo. I'm already thinking about the other meals as I'm going through this just to be more efficient. But let's get that beef broth and let's get some chicken broth. I know with chicken broth, I can just boil some water and throw in a chicken bouillon cube. But once again, I don't know, just efficiency right now. Easily, I could just buy more than I actually need at the moment, but because I know I'm gonna grocery shop in 10 days again, I know I can add on the ingredients we actually need for the next set of meals. Do we have Parmesan cheese? Let's look. All right, we are lacking in the Parmesan department, so I'm gonna add that right in here. I'm gonna just get 2 of these bags actually. We have fresh basil, marinara, forgot the marinara. I'm going for ragu sauce. Look at that, we bought this thing 5 times already. I'm just gonna buy 2 of them. Tomato paste, we don't have that. Ricotta, need some ricotta cheese. Do we have butter? Yep, we do have butter, thank goodness. Oregano, we got oregano up in here? Yep. The next meal we're gonna get is the Marry Me Chicken Orzo. So we have, thankfully, a lot of the ingredients here. The only thing we're really missing here now are sun-dried tomatoes and oil. Man, this stuff is so good. My goodness. Do we have orzo, by the way? That's probably important. Let me check. We do, in fact, have orzo pasta, but we only have 1 and it's already been used, so I'm just gonna get another one. That is really cheap. And it's amazing. I've never known what orzo was until 2 weeks ago, but since we've started using it, it is a staple, right? And finally, we need some chicken breasts. So let's go look at the fridge. Did I say fridge? I meant freezer. Okay, we have no chicken breasts, so we're gonna have to buy some chicken breasts, which is our typical cut of meat for most of our meals. I'm gonna grab this tray of fresh ones, and what I do with these fresh chicken breasts is I'll usually break it up, put it into some freezer bags, and then I'll put those freezer bags into our fridge. And just now, as I was coming back here, I noticed that we were low on olive oil. This is actually the last of what we have. I'm gonna have to buy olive oil right now, and hopefully that doesn't push us over the edge of our budget. Generic olive oil is $16. It might be the move this week. It might not be the move this week. Let's see where we're gonna be at the end of all of the meals. Taco night. All right, taco stuff. We have ground beef. We have tortillas, thankfully. We just need some extra toppings for it now, which will also be great toppings for the kava bowls after. So one thing I have in mind are tomatoes. We don't have tomatoes yet. We'll just buy a few of these Roma tomatoes, just 4 of them. That's all we really need. And I love to have sour cream, so I gotta add that in there. Salsa. We do be lacking in the salsa department. Wow, salsa's getting a lot more expensive now. $7.93? My goodness. We already have some seasoning mix for our very white tacos. And last but not least, let's talk about those kava bowls. We pretty much have every ingredient we need. We have stuff in the pantry already that I can see. We have some beans and we have some corn that we can put into these bowls. The only other thing I know we can add on that's also gonna be great in the tacos are avocados. Now this is where grocery delivery can get a little bit sketchy when it comes to buying fresh fruits. For example, the strawberries and blueberries from earlier, or something like avocados. That can be a little iffy if the person was actually a good shopper. And thankfully, because of Walmart Plus, and I think if you just have delivery in general, you can choose to return or get refunds on some of these items that they choose badly. So boom, there we go. Last but not least, let's see if we can fit in a sweet treat. I'm literally typing in sweet treat, sorry. Apple juice. And what I love about apple juice, it's a great base for acai bowls. And right now in our freezer, we do have acai bowl ingredients. Let me show you. I'm gonna add the apple juice, but just quickly, I wanna show you, we currently have some frozen fruits, as well as some frozen acai mix from previous grocery trips. So we can make acai bowls, use the apple juice as our base liquid, and then of course sprinkle the fresh strawberries and blueberries on that bowl too. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna hold back, all right? But let's see the total of our ingredients now. Okay, we are now in the checkout and the estimated subtotal is coming out to $148.04. So we are under $150. It's just that we're gonna go a bit over because of taxes. And as we've mentioned already, we already account for that because our grocery budget for the month is at $500. And yeah, I know some of the comments will be focused on the lack of fresh fruits and vegetables, but we still have some frozen fruits and veggies that we haven't yet eaten yet from previous trips. So we're definitely gonna integrate those into our different recipes. The delivery is gonna come literally today. Great job. Oh, estimated total, $158.03. And bam, there we go, guys. That is a grocery trip for under $150 for the next 10 days. Of course, that is not the only food we have. We have still other food in our pantry and in our fridge. But I just wanted to make this simple video to show you that it is possible to stick to your grocery budgets, even though prices are going crazy right now. It's just about being creative, finding very practical meals that don't use expensive meats, and that will allow you to stick to your budget. And if you want to use the Monarch budget that I've been showing throughout the video, use the link in the description. And if you use my code Frugal Rich, you can get 50% off an annual plan, or just use the link again in the description. That is literally just for you guys because you're watching this video. Try out Monarch today. And if you're curious about the other kinds of groceries I typically buy, click on this video and I'll walk you through some of the essentials that I like to get always through most of my trips. It is right here in this video. So give it a click and I'll see you guys over there. Peace.